Well, hello everyone. Welcome to P.B.M. Vending. Tonight's video is going to be, for the next 12 months, going to be a monthly thing. And I want to update you about how we are doing on the game we are playing. Now, just so you know, the credit card game we are playing has nothing at all to do with travel or hotels. Our game is very, very simple, which, by the way, I like simple. But our goal was that by next June, the end of June, I wanted to make $1,000 in cash back with no new credit cards. And we were going to use three main tools. And I'm going to go through and show you some things. Now, when we started, we may have to change this number, and here's why. When we started, remember I said I was working on spend for my American Express card. $300 worth. Well, I got my American Express statement this month and there was nothing mentioned on there about it. So I called them and I said, "Where's my $300? And the guy on the phone said, "Well, first off, it's $1,000 and $250. And I didn't argue with him. But when I do get back on the phone, I'm going to tell them that the particular one that I had responded to said exactly what he said, but then it had an X through the 250 and there was a $300 written in. It was $300. But anyway, when I said something to the representative, he said, "Oh, we don't show anything on there about that. I'm going to have to open a new case on this." Okay, I don't really know what that means, but he said it was going to take 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know why. All they have to do is look at the date that I submitted, because if you remember, I did that online, and I got accepted online, and all of my information is right there online. All they got to do is go back and check. I don't know what the big deal is, but anyway, 6 to 8 weeks. So if they weasel out of the $250 or $300, which I had included in the $1,000, we may have to lower this to $700. That's all I'm saying. If that happens, I feel like American Express is acting very weaselly, if that's a word. Okay. So, I needed, first off, in the month of June, I needed to get a beginning from my statements. So what I did is I went through all of my statements and I wrote down what my balances were on my cash statements. And I came up with $103.50. Now, I want to give you, and between then and the time we actually started the game, we picked three tools that we were going to use. Remember? American Express because of groceries and gas, Discover because of the random 5%, and then the Citibank Double was going to be my workhorse. Okay? Now, up until I had gotten the Citi Double Cash, I was using Wells Fargo. And as of this month, the Wells Fargo has, we've done $87.33 with cash back on Wells Fargo. And the other credit card that I've got that I'm not planning on using is the Chase Unlimited. Now, what am I doing with the Chase Unlimited? If you've been watching our videos, you know that my youngest daughter is not very good with money, but she's very good at keeping promises. And I gave her a goal many years ago, and she kept to it every month for the last 6 or 7 years. So, this year on her 21st birthday, I gave her a credit card. It's my account, but she's an authorized user on my Chase Unlimited. And I gave her an X amount of dollar to use every single month. And I did that for 2 reasons. Number one, I was already giving her this cash. Alright, but I was giving her cash. So I gave her a credit card for 2 reasons. Number one, to get her used to how to handle cash as far as a credit card goes, and to be okay with that, and 2, to still keep her word. I feel like if she learns that from using this credit card, it's been well worth it. From my point of view, I didn't want to stick my Chase card in the drawer and have to go buy a cup of coffee every 3 months just to keep the darn thing activated. By her using it, it'll keep it activated, it'll keep it moving. I'm still going to spend the same amount of money, only now, instead of using cash, I'm going to be using the credit card. So, it's going to win for me. Now, with the Chase Unlimited, I believe it's 1.5% I'll be making on that, but the amount of money that I gave her is going to be very small. So I'm not the least bit. It'll add into the total, but not much. And the other one was the Wells Fargo. Now my credit bureau has tanked because of this. The Wells Fargo, up until this month, or last month, was my go-to because I was making 1.5% cash back on that. Where before I was using Discover and getting 1% back. So, in the month going from Discover to Wells Fargo, I had a big fluctuation. And then from June to July, when I was going from Wells Fargo to the Citibank double card, again, my credit bureau is going to show 2 cards with big balances, unpaid balances. So, to be expected, my credit is going to fall. I'm in the process of fixing that with automatic payments, which goes against my grain, and I've been putting it off for some reason, I don't know why. But here's proof of what we're doing. And I'm going to cover our 3 big dogs. American Express, which I'm going to use for gas, 3%, groceries, 6%. We went from $13.05 to $23.57. And that was just within a couple of weeks. Our Discover card, which we were using the month before, we used for 5% on gas. The next 3 months, starting in July, we're using for restaurants. Went from $2 to $8.20. Again, you can see it's increased 4 times, so we're using the cards right. American Express went from $13 to $23, Discover from $2 to $8, 4 times. Now, and here's the big one. My workhorse, the Citibank double, went from $1.31 last month to $14.46 this month. And that's the one that's going to get us to where we need to be. So when you add these cards up here in July, now it's not the end of July, so you can't really use that. When we end this whole thing up at the end of June, I will at that point either go online or I will call or somehow I will find the total so that we can cut off at exactly June. But when we started here, what I did is I just started with whatever we were at, because nothing was huge, nothing was big, nothing was going to skew it much. So in July, which is really most of June, or a couple of them towards the end of June, but part of June, part of July, and our real base is $139.93. Now that's after about a month. Now, we did have some beginning, but if you take $139.93 and multiply that times 10 months, we're going to be there. But I don't believe that. There are too many things that can happen between now and then. As an example, American Express doesn't come through like they say. Something happens in the economy, and I can't spend like I normally spend. But as we are here in the month of July, which is from our statements as part of June and part of July, we are at 139.93. We are on target to hit our goals. In fact, we are above our goals. So we'll have to see what next month brings. I suspect we're going to stay on goal, but I don't know for sure. And as soon as the food drops off on Discover in 2 more months, our numbers are going to start to take a hit. Because as I told you when we started, I have a soft spot for the restaurants in our city, simply because they're carrying the weight, and I'm eating 2 or 3 meals out a day just to support our restaurants. I normally don't do that. I only eat out once or twice a week. So when that ends, our numbers are going to start to take a hit. But I wanted to bring you up to date. The number for July is 139.93. All is well, all is looking good. My only concern is what American Express is going to do. So that's our update. I'll see you all in the next video, and happy vending.